Hello everyone and welcome back to IMO Reviews. Today we are discussing Evil Dead Rise. Directed by Lee Cronin and starring Alyssa Sutherland, Lily Sullivan, Morgan Davies, Nell Fisher and Gabrielle Echols. A reunion between estranged sisters goes horribly awry as the Book of the Dead unleashes hell upon them. Let's get straight into the positives of Evil Dead Rise. The sound design was sensational. It was so loud and roaring that my seat was shaking. It was like feeling the full wrath of a demon scream. And not only that, I really enjoyed the small Atmos details of a fly whizzing by, but you hear it somewhere over there. I love that level of immersion and I thought it was hugely impressive here. I thought the cast were really solid, but massive props needs to go to Alyssa Sutherland. This is my favourite performance of 2023 so far. I love the subtlety of her performance despite how loud and screaming it is. There are these brilliant little inflections in her voice and the movement of her eyes and even in her jaw, the way it sort of grinds. It just added to the disturbing nature of the character, and I even saw a pinch of Heath Ledger's Joker in there, but more hellish, and I just loved it. Huge round of applause and respect gained for Alyssa Sutherland. She didn't just knock it out past the bleachers, she went past the car park with this one. Phenomenal performance, well done. I also really like Lily Sullivan. She is the backbone of this movie. If her character doesn't work, then this film doesn't work. And I appreciated the depth that they gave to her and the time that they spent with her character to actually build that connection between us, the audience, and her on the screen. And on that note, I like that this movie took its time. It does offer setup and character, which can so commonly be forgotten about or lost in a normal horror, when actually it's usually what makes them work. Evil Dead Rise absolutely gets that, and thankfully I did feel a connection specifically to Alyssa Sutherland and to Lily Sullivan. We'll get to the kids. It's got a good amount of tension and squirm in your seat moments. It also has a lot of jump scares, but they didn't bother me because they weren't super telegraphed from the other side of the world and you can see them coming from a mile away. No, they felt quite impromptu and off the cuff. And equally, they weren't fake outs. Whatever jumped up and said boo usually was the big nasty thing that was coming to hurt you. So I'm okay with that. I thought it was well done, nicely handled. It never got to a point where I was rolling my eyes. It's competently made. There were some really nice moments of cinematography in places, and equally the prosthetics, they look great. Very splashy. But I do have a handful of issues with the movie. Starting with the one that I mentioned briefly in the positives, and that being the kids. They were pretty shallow and empty characters that I didn't really care about at all. And mixing in some of the neighbours that equally didn't get much in regard to setup or character, they can often feel like they're just getting in the way a little bit and distracting you from the good stuff, being Alyssa Sutherland and Lily Sullivan. Characters can make some really dumb decisions in pivotal moments, and you don't understand why. It would have been better and smarter to present the option to make a dumb decision and then not do it. Make it feel like these characters do have a brain in their head. They have actually witnessed all of this mental stuff going on around them. It just breaks the illusion when they start doing stupid things. If you, the audience, wouldn't do it, the character in the film shouldn't do it. There's also quite a bit of convenience in the writing. I personally feel like there are some really odd decisions in the filmmaking as well. This film strangely pauses to offer a homage to The Shining, despite being absolutely nothing like The Shining or anything to do with The Shining. Why is it in here? I don't know. It's really strange and it completely pulled me out of the film. There's also these silly mistakes in the editing as well. They would often cut the tension of a scene by leaving it and seeing what a less interesting character was doing somewhere else. And what that less interesting character was doing somewhere else was never as interesting as the moment of fear that's unfolding here that you keep leaving. Just stay in the pocket, for God's sakes. Let it play out. It doesn't work like that. You've offered the respite. The tension is gone. Come on now. This is just Horror 101, a class of which I would be a fantastic professor, might I say. So I'm going to give Evil Dead Rise an 8 out of 10. I think the Evil Dead fans will be very pleased and satisfied by this. And despite my complaints, I still think this is a very good, well-made horror movie that will raise your pulse considerably. It's got good character arcs, I think there's some fun scares in there and enjoyable gore, and if there's any praise I can give this movie, it's a shit lot better than The Pope's Exorcist. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and please do hit the comment section. Have you seen Evil Dead Rise? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, if you haven't had enough of this crazy ginger, well, you can always click on these suggested videos right here and get yourself lost in an IMO wormhole. But if not, take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.